So here we are in the quasi-new format with Amalia and Soren Band. Hand's missing a combo piece, but I think has enough going for it otherwise. I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Okay, this looks like just Gruul aggro. Okay, well, that'll work. Virtue of Persistence in. For sideboarding stuff, probably 2 of those and one of the Tanukis. It's just like that rule aggro of some kind. Magic Outline earlier. Yes, it's not great, but it's fine. Stud. I'm fine with leaving a land on top there. No damage. Back history is back. Alright. You have a protection spell, or are you just planning on eating something in the graveyard? Breakout, sure. I don't think we have a way of surviving this turn, so cast this. Maybe for some reason they'll get sloppy here, but I guess we could have Could have grabbed the swamp there to set up Virtue of Persistence, but I don't think we were living long enough for that card to matter. At least the back half of it. So. I wonder what deck our opponent thought that we were on that when they brought in Scavenging Ooze. Alright. Yeah. I'm looking for... Graveyard. See. And concede. Alright, take a look at this hand. Seems reasonable enough, we'll try it. Turn on Thoughtseize, of course. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So it looks like we're going to need to topic. We just did. All right. Try it like that. Alright, Sandy is fine for what we're trying to do in this matchup. You know, it's our Thoughtseize 20 times this game, and then the hand we keep doesn't matter, but I already have double red. Have a white source. The color we don't have is swamp. Sure. Good game, well played. What do we do with this hand? I think we keep it even though it does have its issues. Okay. See what you got this turn. Okay, exiles until they hit Sheoldred, which is kind of annoying. Nice to pick up the run there.
I won't let you damage them.
Alright, looking at this hand. This hand's got a lot of problems with it. So, looks like we're hooked on Phoenix. Lush Portico here. looking for basic land, or basically looking for the combo piece. So that'd be all land types that into Leyline Binding. Spell Pierces is going to protect your thing here, so. Okay, get the Spell Pierce. I said Quint off the top would be quite nice. Okay. Finally hit the Phoenix. See if we can open up the possibility of can't really play around a second Spell Pierce, so just gotta go for it. Do you have the spell pierce? Quint. Spark double. Alright, good game.
Let's dig over here.
Definitely want these in. The decks can be tricky because if they're not at the perfect time, you're kind of out of luck. So I don't like bounce spells per se. Is a little bit better setup. Obviously would love to have the 4th Thought Distortion. So awkward as this hand is, I do think we keep it. Yeah, that could go to the graveyard. Definitely keeping the Overgrown Tomb. Picklock Prankster. Nope, just out. No reason to pick up Keruga quite yet. Sure. Again, no reason to do anything. Sure. Mm-hmm. Have a reversal, they get us, kind of. That's for 6. I guess theoretically they could cast a treasure cruise here. Okay.
Let's dig over here.
Sure.
I'm ready for another exciting expedition. What a novel discovery. Discoveries are around every corner. Some mysteries beg to be solved.
Ironically, if they would have waited, they wouldn't have won, but they wouldn't have been comboed out that turn. So, all right. So taking a look at this version, we've played this one before, obviously. You know, one of the big things that this format Explorer is missing is overall, you know, Dragonlord Dromoka is a big one for this deck. You know, then you have obviously things like Hidden Strings and such, which there will be another video coming out where we cover some of the key cards missing that Pioneer Master still needs to bring into the Explorer format to make Explorer into full Pioneer. Now, that said, you know, the format did get a shakeup with the banning of Sorin Imperious Bloodlord, as well as Amalia Benvenidos, kind of taking down, obviously, Rakdos Vampires and Amalia Combo, really only leaving Izzet Phoenix of the big 3 decks kind of remaining. And I think Phoenix is infinitely preferable from our standpoint. I think Vampires was just annoying because it had, you know, the really fast clock with Blood, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Riptide Harvester, but overall, I think the Rakdos decks are going to be a little bit slower, maybe a little less interactive. As we saw that NT version that we ran into, you might see more return of Rakdos midrange of like, Blood Tithe Harvester, Fable, Sheoldred, a deck that was even before Sorin got the Vein Ripper. Deck that was kind of probably the number one deck in the format. I wouldn't be surprised if Rakdos midrange does eventually rise to the number one or number two deck again in the format. As far as Quintorius Combo, I still think it's a fine deck. Like, you're a little bit of a dog to the aggro decks. That's going to happen. You're a little bit of a dog to things like Spirits. And everything else, I feel like you can go... You're kind of this combo control game that can go long against decks like Phoenix, especially in post-board configurations with things like Thought Distortion as a trump card. You can kind of go long against Rakdos to a certain degree. I think you're okay against some of the aggressive decks, as you can board into basically having like 12 removal spells, plus having this life gain combo that wins you the game. I think where this deck runs into issues, obviously Lotus Field combo is a bit tricky because you're very similar in speeds, and they have certain tricks and stuff that can cause you problems. Actually, I think they're technically about a half turn faster. And then, obviously, the tempo decks, like Spirits, can be problematic. But, Quint is a deck that doesn't feel like it's too powerful for Pioneer. It has its good days and its bad days, when you don't have a whole lot of card manipulation. As the format's a little bit more aggressive, maybe it's not the best time to pull Quint back out, but, had been itching to play this deck a little bit, and, with the shaking up of the format with Vampires and Amalia kind of getting banned into the shadow zones, or shadow realm, so to speak, I think it may have been time to pull this deck out, and, doing fine. We lost to the Gruul aggro deck, we beat a Rakdos kind of pseudo-aggro mid-range deck, and then we beat Phoenix, kind of about where I feel with this deck. Rakdos could be 50-50 depending on their sideboard configs. Phoenix has always felt like a reasonable matchup. And then the aggressive decks, you always feel like a little bit of a dog because you're a dog game 1. And then game 2, game 3, a lot of it comes down to configurations and stuff. So anyways, if you like Pioneer Explore content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you for our next video.